You spend a small fortune on a sleek, high-efficiency front-load washing machine. It looks like it belongs on a spaceship. It promises to save water, save electricity, and treat your clothes like royalty. So, you throw in a load of laundry, pour in your premium detergent, and press start. But an hour later, you open that watertight glass door, and you are hit square in the face with an odor so profoundly swampy, so intensely foul, that you wonder if something crawled inside the drum and met its end. It is incredibly frustrating. You bought this machine to clean things, and instead, it smells like a biological hazard. Well, put away the sledgehammer. Today, we are going to get rock solid on the facts. I'm going to break down the exact chemical reactions, the hidden mechanical flaws, and the fluid dynamics that turn your front loader into a petri dish. We are going to look at why some of the most common cleaning advice on the internet can actually destroy your machine, how to completely obliterate the smell using actual science, and how to prevent it from ever coming back. Grab a seat, and let's get into it. To understand the smell, we first have to understand the fundamental mechanics of a front-loading machine versus a traditional top-loading machine. Top loaders are essentially giant vats of water. They use massive hydraulic flushing power to dilute and wash away dirt. Front loaders, on the other hand, operate on a horizontal axis and use a fraction of the water to achieve high efficiency. Because gravity is pulling the water directly against the front glass door, manufacturers have to install a heavy-duty folded rubber gasket to seal the machine shut. This is flaw number one. If you peel back the thick folds of that rubber seal, you will usually find a tiny stagnant pool of water, trapped lint, pet hair, and dirt. Because the machine is virtually airtight when the door is closed, that trapped moisture cannot evaporate. You have just built a luxury greenhouse for mold, but the gasket is just the tip of the iceberg. The real nightmare is happening in the dark, in a place you can't even see, the outer tub. Inside your washing machine, there is the shiny stainless steel drum that holds your clothes, and a larger stationary plastic tub that surrounds it to hold the water. The space between them is where the chemistry goes terribly wrong, creating a substance the appliance industry actually refers to as scrud. Scrud is the result of modern detergent chemistry meeting low-water environments. Liquid detergents, and especially liquid fabric softeners, are packed with synthetic thickeners, emulsifiers, and plant or animal-derived lipids. Fats, basically, to keep them shelf-stable and thick. When you use these heavy liquids in a low-water front loader, especially if you are using cold water to save energy, those fats do not completely dissolve. Instead, the undissolved lipids bind with the dead skin cells, body oils, and dirt from your clothes. If you live in an area with hard water, the calcium and magnesium in your water supply act like a binding agent, turning this greasy mixture into an insoluble, waxy paste. This paste clings to the outside of the inner stainless steel drum and the bottom of the plastic outer tub. Every time you run a cold wash, you are essentially painting the hidden internals of your machine with a layer of synthetic fat, providing an all-you-can-eat buffet for odor, causing anaerobic bacteria. Now, let's talk about the engineering flaw that appliance manufacturers really don't want to highlight: galvanic corrosion. If you look at the back of your stainless steel washing machine drum, you will find a massive, three-pronged metal bracket called the spider arm, or trunnion. This arm connects the drum to the motor drive shaft. Here is the problem: the drum is made of high-grade stainless steel. But to save weight and manufacturing costs, the spider arm is almost always made of cast aluminum. When you place two dissimilar metals, aluminum and stainless steel, in a wet environment, and introduce an electrolyte, you create a battery. And what acts as the electrolyte? Your laundry detergent. Detergents are highly alkaline, often sitting at a pH of 8 to 11. When this high pH soapy water hits the aluminum and the stainless steel, a chemical process called galvanic corrosion is triggered. The aluminum acts as a sacrificial anode. It begins to pit, oxidize, and literally flake apart. As the aluminum spider arm corrodes, its surface goes from smooth metal to a rough, highly porous, chalky sponge. This degraded metal traps the waxy scrud, the hard water minerals, and the bacteria deep inside its microscopic pits. As the organic matter rots inside the corroded aluminum, it produces a foul, decaying, metallic odor that no standard surface wipe will ever touch. And finally, we have to factor in the ambient environment and your plumbing. If you live in a region with high ambient humidity, like the heavy, moisture-laden air we deal with in Miami, Florida, simply leaving the washer door cracked open is often not enough. The moisture inside the drum struggles to evaporate into air that is already saturated. Furthermore, if your washer's drain hose is shoved too far down into the wall standpipe, It can sit below the water line of the P-trap. When the machine stops pumping, it siphons stagnant, raw sewer water back up the hose and into the bottom of your washer. So, knowing all of this physics and chemistry, how do we actually fix it? You need a multi-stage protocol to extract the physical debris, break down the chemical biofilm, and sanitize the system. But we need to be incredibly careful here, because a lot of the internet's favorite DIY cleaning hacks will actually destroy your machine. Phase 1 is physical extraction. Open the door and physically peel back that rubber gasket. Spray the inside folds with white vinegar, which is a mild acetic acid, and use a rag to wipe out all the trapped hair, sludge, and mold. Next, pull the detergent dispenser drawer completely out of the machine. Wash the drawer in the sink, but more importantly, take a flashlight and look inside the cavity where the drawer usually sits. The water jets in the ceiling of that cavity are notorious for growing black mold. Scrub them clean with an old toothbrush. Finally, open the small access door at the bottom front of the machine, lay down a towel, drain the residual water from the emergency hose, and clean out the main drain pump filter. Phase 2 is the chemical purge, and this is where we have to talk about the great citric acid debate. If you look online, you will see countless tutorials telling you to dump a cup of citric acid into your drum to clean it. From a pure chemistry standpoint, citric acid is an incredible chelating agent. It binds to hard water minerals and melts away calcium scale better than almost anything else. However, we have to look at the engineering reality. Major manufacturers, including Bosch, have issued explicit warnings against using pure citric acid to clean their washing machines. Why? Because while citric acid is great for stripping minerals, it is highly aggressive toward the specific EPDM rubber used for the door gasket and internal seals. Repeated use of high-concentration citric acid degrades the rubber, causing it to harden, crack, and eventually flood your laundry room. So, we want to skip the pure citric acid. Instead, we are going to use chemistry that is safe for the rubber, but lethal to the scrud and the bacteria. We are going to use sodium percarbonate, commonly known as powdered oxygen bleach. Pour a generous half cup of pure powdered oxygen bleach directly into the empty drum. Do not put it in the dispenser. Now, set your washer to the absolute hottest, longest cycle available, usually a sanitize or tub clean cycle that pushes the water temperature up to 90 degrees Celsius. Here is what happens during that cycle. The hot water activates the sodium percarbonate, raising the pH of the water and releasing massive amounts of hydrogen peroxide. This chemical reaction physically scours the outer drum, lifting the waxy lipid layer, dissolving the biofilm trapped in the corroded spider arm, and oxidizing the anaerobic bacteria. It destroys the organic food source without eating through your rubber seals. Once that blistering hot cycle is done, run one more quick empty rinse cycle on cold just to flush any remaining particulates down the drain. Your machine is now biologically and chemically reset, but cleaning it is only half the battle. To stop the smell from coming back, we have to change the workflow to prevent the chemistry of scrud from forming in the first place. First, stop using liquid fabric softener entirely. It is essentially liquid wax. It coats the internal siphon tubes in your dispenser, coats your drum, and traps bacteria. If you want softer clothes, put a quarter cup of standard white vinegar in the softener compartment. It strips away detergent residue naturally and keeps the internal lines perfectly clear. Second, severely reduce your detergent dosage. High-efficiency front loaders need very little soap. 1 to 2 tablespoons of liquid detergent is the absolute maximum for a normal load. The lines on the measuring cap are designed to make you use more product, not clean your clothes better. Excess suds just float above the waterline, leaving a sticky residue on the top of the outer tub where the rinse water can't reach. Third, make the switch from liquid detergent to powdered HE detergent. Powders do not contain the synthetic liquid thickeners that cause buildup, and they are naturally more alkaline, which helps keep the internal metals scoured and clean. And finally, the golden rule of front loaders: never, ever close the door completely when the machine is not running. Leave the door ajar and pull the detergent drawer out an inch so air can circulate through the siphon tubes. If you use a heavy dust cover over your machine, do not pull it down immediately after a wash. Give the machine at least 24 hours to breathe and evaporate that internal moisture, or you are just building a mold terrarium. Understanding the engineering limits of your appliances and the chemistry of the products you put into them is the only way to beat the system. Stop fighting the symptoms and start fixing the science. If this deep dive saved your washing machine, or at least saved your nose, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. letting me know what bizarre technology or appliance mystery you want me to break down next. Stay curious, keep your gear running right, and as always, this is Sal, signing off.